My world has just gotten smaller. Either that or I have gotten taller or wider but not shorter. For shorter would denote restriction and places some things out of reach, but that's not it, for it is the opposite. Everything is within feet. Can you feel me? At one time, it was as if I lived in a mansion alone. Many rooms, many doors, many manys. And the more space meant the more space. And the dust was prone to wander to places I would never venture because of the space. For I could have never, not clean it all, not paint it all, but I could never fill it because of the space. I would have forgotten some places existed, either because I never visited or when I did I was distracted. For I never had the time to notice, not that it was not my business, but it was strategically neglected. Did I say neglected? No, not neglected, camouflaged. For I felt I will always have it, therefore there was no need to stare. For who stares at what is theirs? For you always have it. And because of that, it becomes a stranger in the eyes of one who is familiar. But now the space is filling up. The rooms are becoming filled. The dust is now recognized as dust. Gigantic is no longer appropriate, for the buzzword has now become claustrophobic. You thought I would have said quarantine or pandemic, maybe corona or COVID, for these are the things we now live with. For the world has not gotten smaller because islands or continents have disappeared. It shrunk because travel has been taken away and the virtual is now the new atmosphere. You and I are now roommates. I am on your screen and you are on my screen, and we are screaming together. For the bondage is not because of the weather. It is of something unseen but felt, an enemy that refuses to hide but is difficult to see. It strives upon human imperfections. For that moment you lapse in your interactions, maybe because of a distraction, or it could be a selfish ambition, like wanting to normalize the situation and feel as if the world was once again a mansion, forgetting that the enemy has no compassion. Just when you let your guard down, the enemy is unmasked, and while you have a laugh, the enemy infiltrates the chuckles, and before you know it, you are bouncing knuckles, and the enemy becomes divided but remains whole, and everyone he touches becomes part of the fold. You may not be aware that you are on the waiting list, for he's making the list and checking it twice, and in a few days he's going to strike. And when he does, you will finally see his character. Tasteless, have no respect for order, can even cause you to feel colder, and in the midst of the tears he can take your breath away. He takes no prisoners, but many do escape, but some don't share that fate. Many things can be done to secure our personal protection, but this would mean nothing if we live in a mansion. For in a mansion there is interaction. For our protection we need restriction, simply put, a bubble. For the enemy of my enemy is my enemy. Therefore I will isolate, I will discriminate and segregate to ensure I don't divide your enemy. For you having the enemy is my speculation. It would serve you well to adopt this discrimination. For the only way we can defeat this enemy is if we are separated. For it is only then he cannot travel. And if I don't host you, I can't host him. And with persistence, we can get to the end. And who knows, the world can move away from being a cottage and once again become a mansion.